know what to say. But hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Whispers from the Void. I'm Evan.
And I'm Phil, de Vitesse for the Intimates. Thanks for tuning in.
If I could do Mongolian throat singing, I would have done it.
I know someone who can do it.
I guess that, yeah, we know someone that maybe we'll have on the podcast one day. That would be fucking sick.
I got two guys that can do the throat singing.
Oh yeah?
I know two guys.
They say, I guess that's where kind of, I don't know if this is right, but I think that's kind of where a lot of those heavier death metal vocals kind of came from.
Yeah,
It was the idea over there.
It's the idea. Like a lot of people that I know say throat singing. It's like it's the vocal cords. You slow them. It's like you slow them to scream and to growl, and that's a little bit the same thing with throat singing. But there's another technique for that. But yeah. It's not complicated. What I heard of, it's not complicated, but you have to do it.
Yeah, no, it's some fucking crazy stuff. I actually was watching some dude on YouTube do it the other day, and it sounds really good. That's a perfect segue into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the weird ass fucking subgenres that people like to throw out there. When in reality, it's kind of an overthought.
Like where we were saying subgenres, but it can be like one band that influence some other bands, but one band that is taking one weird subgenres. Like you would understand when you will listen to this episode.
Yeah. But as always, we have a couple drinks on our end. Loosen us up, get us going. I have with me something from Wormtown Brewery, right here in Worcester. This is actually a collab between Wormtown and Table Talk Pies.
Oh,
Table
nice.
Talk Pies, if that can focus. I don't think it's gonna fucking do it. Whatever. But Table Talk Pies is like these, basically fucking pies, dude. That you can do the little pies. Sometimes they do big pies, and it's located right here in downtown. This is the pumpkin pie ale. It's brewed with Table Talk pumpkin pies, of course, pumpkin puree, lactose, and spices. And I've had a brew similar to this. It was actually a blueberry lemon sour that they did, again with Table Talk. And what they did for that one, I know, is that they literally took Table Talk pies within the process, and just like when you add your hops and everything else, they're just throwing pies in there.
Okay.
So must have been fun. I would have had a blast. I know that. But so really right now, this is fucking delicious.
Nice.
It is my favorite pumpkin beer to date.
Ah, that's perfect. But yeah, what do I got tonight is the Loki over there. Focus. Thank you. I love you, Cam. The great Loki from the north. And it's an IPA, 6.5%. The Loki is from Gallicus. Gallicus, which is a brewery in Gatineau, the hometown of Metal Minded and Yolin and all of the Metal Minded crew. Shoutout Metal Minded. And yeah, I didn't have the chance to take it, but I had their Napa, which was a double aura. I have it in my fridge, but because there's less ABV in that beer, I was like, oh, let's drink the Loki. Let's drink it. But yeah. And I love the beard, so yeah.
Everybody loves the beard.
Everybody.
We are a pro beard podcast, if you can't already tell.
If you're anti-beard, leave the channel. No, stay,
but
don't
stay,
hate.
because we need fans.
Stay, but don't hate.
All right. So this was Philippe's idea, a topic of his, a itch he had to scratch, as we would say. But yeah, so this is something, and we were just kind of talking about it briefly before we started recording, but it's kind of one of these things that I don't really know how much weight it holds anymore, or if it literally is. I feel like once you had the era of thrash, you had your big four and stuff like that. I feel like everybody kind of started to do things to differentiate from themselves, taking all these differences from different acts and different bands alike, and obviously making their own bands, and then started to label themselves as something completely different. And really, it stems from fans identifying with a band and then kind of just running with it and just kind of going with it. When really what it comes down to for me is it's always just been sort of the same four styles of music, that being thrash, death metal, black metal, which is kind of funny because if you think about it, black and death metal are kind of almost exactly what happened there. It's basically just somebody took something and just said, oh, we're death metal, and then fans ran with it, because I think if I remember correctly, I think it was black metal started because, or no, what was it? It's something between death and black metal. Death metal was going on in like the Scandinavian countries around, and then black metal started, and black metal basically just wanted to be like its own thing, and so that there was something with the labeling, how they labeled themselves or whatever.
I'll make it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
I would correct it because it's not a bad description. But for death metal, it began like in Florida. It began in Florida. The Floridian scene, it was like where it started, and it started like with bands like Death, Possessed, and Obituary. And the band that the band that was most known for that is Death. But Death at the debut album, it was more like a trash, but more speed, more brutal.
I've always known death and black metal. I've always known America to basically come in with the popular idea, like the popular thrash, not so much like the German stuff, but the popular thrash. You'd see Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, whatever. But I've always known death metal and black metal to basically come from the northern European countries, the Scandinavian countries and things like that, because that's a lot of those bands started over there.
That's true.
They had it first, and that's kind of where Death and all of them kind of got the idea. Your Celtic Frosts of the world, like they were all fans of that.
Just a little correction. I'm not sure. Like, maybe I'm wrong too, but I'm not sure it began in Scandinavia, but it was popular in Scandinavia. Like, I think, in my knowledge, it began in Florida, but it was like a trash more heavy, and Death put it like with the Human album, they put their little progressive style in that. And there was other band, like if you take Morbid Angel, for example, you take Possessed, Obituary, and other band of that era. They like did an evolution in death metal. If we go in Sweden, you're right about it. I don't think they started the genre, but they took what the Americans did. Because of tape trading, like they could have access with some tapes and some group of Florida, and they were like, let's do it more brutal. That's when began like Entomb, Grave. I'm not sure with Grave, but Entomb, it's one of the most known. There's other bands, but I'm not expert in the Swedish death metal. like the first act of Swedish death metal. I know the melodic one, but not the death metal. And I know something about those band. It's a technical thing, but they were using one pedal that makes a difference with the American death metal. It was Boss HM2. I will put the image now. This pedal is very popular with the guitarist in Swedish death metal band of that time, and even today you can have some HM2 on some album, because there's like this not clean, like this weird sound about this pedal, but it was like very appropriate for that genre. But yeah.
So I just fact checked myself. So we're both right in the sense that basically modern death metal as we know it started in Florida with bands like Obituary, Autopsy, Death, things like that. But originally what happened was they came up with their style from bands like Creator, Celtic Frost, and Venom. Okay. That's basically kind of where that's kind of where that style came from. So so the idea originally started somewhere over there with the idea of just being the most brutal, and then in Florida, that's how Death and them basically took that. They, again, another idea, they took something, made it their own, and there you go. But really what we're trying to get to that is there's really only, I would say, you have your kind of top styles, and then everything else is just more or less a subgenre underneath one of those. But even the top styles, your top genres are just subgenres of heavy metal.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, and so it's kind of funny sometimes, where you can find people describing bands in like the weirdest fucking ways. Take Rings of Saturn, for example. It's about, they call it like alien death metal or something. Most people that I've seen, like
alien core.
Alien core, yeah. Like it's just something fucking stupid. Like they'll talk about Amon Amarth as like Viking metal. They'll talk about
Hailstorm with pirate metal.
Hailstorm's pirate. God, there's so many. What the fuck were they calling Gwar for a while? They were calling him something weird.
Gwar, I'm not sure, but for me, if you take the genre, it's more like a heavy trash about aliens. Because it's aliens. I would say that it's cum dog metal.
It's just fucking, dude, you can come up with like all sorts of fucking ridiculous.
For me, it's the genre is called Gwar. That's the genre.
Yeah,
because there is not a lot of acts like Gwar. Okay, like you have Lordi in Finland. They are doing a little bit the same thing, but for me, Gwar, it's like unique. You can't have another Gwar. You have, what is the band like with no costume? Like they did that band. It's like, it's called, it's not Gore, it's Rog. They did like, it's a cover band of Gwar with the members of Gwar. But they don't have their costumes.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It is funny. And it's one of those things where, like, if you looked up a list, it probably would just keep going and going and going and going. Because you can fucking make a subgenre out of anything. You could literally take whatever project you're working on. You could probably fucking pull some ridiculous word out and, call it that. And people are just going to say, oh, yeah, that's it. That looks good. Looks good to me. You're going to fucking run with it.
There's a video about metal. It was like 100 subgenre in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that guy is from the channel Two Guys One TV, now known as Maxwell, because the guy is called Maxwell. He's a French guy. He's talking about metal, but like very, very deep. Like they're talking about subject like sci-fi and fantasy, metal and the fantastic books, like the genre of books, fantastic. He's talking about a lot of things about metal, and that's pretty sick. And I think we can start with the bands and genres that we want to talk about, because
Sure.
it's a good
Sure.
transition. And what I'm talking about Maxwell, it's a little bit a good transition about the first band that I want to talk about. I discovered them because of him, and that's a fucked up band. Like, I talked about it a little bit earlier. It's called Portal, and not the game, the band Portal. It's an Australian band. They are classified death metal, but if you look deeper, there's some mix of black metal, a little bit of mix with electro, dark music, ambience. It's fucked up, and it's pretty, like, I would say unhealthy for that one, because it's like depressive a little bit. You don't know what to think about it when you listen to it. Like, I will put you like the last album in description, but it's fucked up, man. Like I was listening to it earlier this day, and I was like, okay, I can't. I just can't. That's too much for me. But what I can say about the band positive, they are fucking good. Like, stage presence, the costumes is pretty great. In fact, it's like the singer got a clock on his head. He's singing with a fucking clock on his head, and the other guys they are like vest with some, not mask, but like something
Hood.
on their head.
A hood.
Yeah,
Face.
a hood, no face.
Do they have faces?
No, we can't see their faces. I don't know if they have faces. I don't know if they have names, because
Are they the original faceless?
maybe they were like, hey, let's call us faceless. But like the faces were like, no, sue you. So they just called Portal because one of the guys played Portal. Maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of a. I guess if you talked about they're like a Lovecraftian horror.
Yes, that's what they were.
Type of crew.
It's not. I don't think it's talking about Lovecraft directly, but you got this sense of Lovecraftian vibe, this Lovecraftian tribute a little bit, because I think if you read some Lovecraft and you're putting Portal in background, maybe it will fit, but a lot. If you want some other Lovecraft band, you have the Great Old Ones, which is like, I think it's black metal. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but check the Great Old Ones, the Great Old Ones. Fuck my pronunciation. And yeah, so for me, first band Portal, it's pretty quick. And if you are good with black death metal and some mix, which I do normally, but that band I just can't. So
Yeah,
if you like
I
it,
think-
that's good.
I think I've heard of they say like horror metal, which
Yeah.
is like a contradictory, because pretty much metal is some like a type of horror, like like the horror, like the lyricism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially Death in Black, Slam, Grindcore, forget about it. All that shit is basically about, in some way, shape, or form, mutilation, gore, death, and other forms of it. Hell and other forms of it, etc., etc., etc. I've heard somebody call aborted horror metal before, and my face was a different shade of red. It was just like, dude, like, what are you doing? I get it, they're into horror, and like a lot of their, they get a lot of inspiration from it and stuff like that, but it's like, so does Trevor from Black Dahlia. So does fucking literally, I guess, any other fucking guy out there. Rob Zombie's a huge one. He
I'll
ended
be
up
on.
to direct movies on The House of a Thousand Corpses and such things like that.
I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of people were like giving a name to something they don't understand. Like if you are talking about pirate metal or Viking metal, for me it's not a thing. Like Viking metal, you can link it to pagan metal, which is like a subgenre of subgenre of black metal, because they're talking about like it's black metal in a way, but they're talking about like their roots. They are talking about paganism, some Nazism a little bit, but I don't want to go further in that. But yeah, they're talking about those things about their old ancestor and whatnot. And for me, Viking metal, like you take the most known band in the genre, which is Amon Amarth. For me, it's melodic death, but they're talking about Vikings, so it's Vikings metal death. But for me, it's metal death. And you take at Hellstorm. At first, we can say it's folk metal, but today it's more like party metal in a way, which is maybe can be another episode of that. But yeah,
which I hate.
It depends.
Viciously.
It depends. There's some bands that are good, but it's not the band that I will listen to.
That's fine, but you're just wasting my time. I guess a big one. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was a good one.
You know, if Jesus Christ was in a metal band, I feel like it'd be a black metal band.
There is some Christian black metal, just to say.
Which is just the dumbest fucking genre out there. Honestly.
Are you talking
which
about
brings
that?
me which literally brings me into what I was gonna talk about. Christian metal. Stop it, dude. Stop it. I could give a fuck about Christian metal. Just the fact that that's a thing is just preposterous. It's just goes against it's like it's the platypus of the music world. Doesn't make any fucking sense. There's things there that don't belong, and it's just kind of like there in like a one-off island that people visit and get eaten by sharks at, you know, like there's just it's the fucking, he's swimming around with his little fucking fins. He looks like a beaver, but he's got a bill. And you're like, what is this? Like, what even is this, dude? You know, this is the bastard child of some dude in his basement who didn't have time to throw away the rags in his trash, you know? Like, it just, come on, stop it. Like, I don't even know really a whole bunch about the Christian metal. I do know there's one band which is more like Christian rock, but it's Skillet. And every time, you know, when I was growing up, somebody would show me that band, I would just get angry almost immediately. Like, what is this? Why are you showing me this? Like, I don't like this. What is this? You know? And it was always described to me as Christian rock. And it's like, dude, that doesn't even make sense. Like, that contradicts everything about the genre. I mean, you talk about metal. I mean, for God's sakes, black metal is huge, you know, within the genre. And it's literally more or less about, and it's, you know, basically about Satan. I mean, metal in sense is basically about some of the hardest things about humanity. You know, typically the topics carry about the most brutal sides of being alive and just like your ideals and things like that.
Of course.
Hell is a huge, I mean, we've talked about it before in the imagery on album covers. Hell is like a huge thing for metal, you know, like a lot of bands gravitate towards that idea. I mean, we're called Whispers from the Void. I mean, the void as it is probably isn't a very good Christian ideal. You know, I don't fucking know a whole lot about the religions and things like that. I choose not to. Blow me up in the comments. I don't care. But I do know that the two things don't belong. Like, they just don't make sense. I've basically stay away from it. So I can only imagine what the fuck they talk about or what they sing about or whatever. If the guy even growls or screams, does he? Like, does the person dry? Like, what is it? Like, I'm not trying to find out because my blood pressure can only go so high. So I'm just gonna stop myself there.
Like, I would be like the devil's advocate. That's funny because it's Christian and the devil's is the evil.
Stop it.
Okay, I would just say my side. Like, I'm not a fan of Christian metal, but some bands I can understand why they are doing it. And let me explain.
Please.
What we can relate like with Christian black metal and black metal in general, it's because they're in the same realm. Like, you take Satan. What is the nemesis of Satan? Jesus, God. So they are in the same world. And I can understand that some people are doing black metal, but they are talking about the nemesis of the subject that black metal is talking about, like Satan and like darkness and whatever. And I can understand in a way, but I'm not a religious guy, but I love sometimes understanding some religions. Like, why some people decided to believe in God. Why some people decided to believe in multiple gods. I like it, but anyway, like, I'm not the type of guy that would go to the church and pray. So, but there's some interesting bands, but I'm not the first guy to listen to it. One band that makes me particularly laughed a lot is Striper. Striper, like, it's a heavy metal band about Christianity, but it's like, you reach out. Like, go listen to that song because it's happy in metal. It's happy metal for me. Like,
it's just not good, dude.
It doesn't make any sense, but for me, it makes me... It put a smile on my face because it's so... What the fuck?
It's just not good, dude.
Yeah, like, you don't like it? Me, it's just like, okay, do what you have to do. You do your thing, I do my thing. I don't care, to be honest. I'm okay with it, but it's like party metal. I'm not the guy that will listen to it like on my own. But if some people like it, then you like it. That's good. Mm-hmm. It's like someone who can like Portal. If you like Portal, go for it. You like it, that's good.
I mean, like, the thing is like, I guess really a lot of my anger comes from. And this kind of just stems from fucking just everyday shit. But it's like, I like Infinite Annihilator. I think they're fucking sweet. And they're basically, they've called themselves like meme metal. Like, they basically, you know, like they tech up all their shit, make it sound ridiculous, you know, but it's fucking good stuff. You know, but obviously they can't play it live. But they own it. They own it. They'll just tell you straight up. They're just like, yeah, it's fucking, you know, it's fucking whatever. I can't stand when people take their shit so fucking seriously and don't really have, like, they themselves no longer understand the shit that's coming out of their mouths. Like, obviously, the Christian metal. I won't go back there. But
no.
Your guys like fucking porno grind. Stop, dude. Like, just quit now. You should have just left it at grind and just like not spoke. Like, that's what you should have done. My grandmother's calling me. Should we put her on the podcast?
Oh, why not?
Okay. Let's go for it, huh? Hi, Graham.
Hi, honey. I just wanted to call and tell you I love you. I know you got a busy week coming up, so I just wanted to say I love you, Evan. I'm proud of you, and have a good time at your bachelor party.
Oh, thanks, Graham. Hey, by the way, you're on my podcast.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
you're on speaker. I appreciate all your kind words. Do you
Right.
have something to say to the void?
Hi, boys. How is everyone? Well, I'll let you go, but I just wanted to tell you that I love you very much.
Love you too.
And take care of yourself and have some fun, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna have fun. That's a promise. That's a guaranteed. All right, hey, Graham, give me your what's your favorite style of metal?
What do you mean?
Like metal music. What's your favorite style? How about this? We'll shorten. What's your favorite band?
I don't have a favorite metal band.
You don't. All right. So what's just your favorite band? Period.
I'm like a Frank Sinatra girl.
I love Frank.
Phil Collins. All of the old fogies, honey.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I spent many a years driving in your Jeep listening to that stuff.
Yeah. All right, my love. I'll let you go and enjoy yourself. Just stay safe, okay?
You got it.
And love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was nice.
Like, I retain myself to not laugh because it's funny.
My grandma's sweet.
She got style. Best. Frank Sinatra is good.
She's the sweetest. Where the fuck were we? Something about porno grind and how it sucks.
Yeah, we were talking about porno grind, and I was like,
oh yeah, you recommended your band there.
No, I didn't. But that's the time to recommend. So go check Overdose of Bacon. We will have an EP out maybe this year or debut the starting of next year. Maybe. Let's check it out if COVID is not fucking up all of it. Thank you.
They have one song out right now. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. So artère constipée, which means constipated arteries.
I mean, there are porno grind's one of those I get fed up with. I have actually never met a person that has said they enjoy it or listens to it. I've only ever seen them on the forums and shit where people post bands and shit and they talk about all the other stuff. But I've yet to meet an actual human being that actually looks me in the eyes and says, "Yeah, it's my stuff." The balls it would take, literally, and figuratively. It just would take to say that is amazing to me.
For me, I got respect for those people, but I'm the type of guy that is saying, you do you. You do you. You like what you like.
There's a fine line between you do you and brother, what the fuck are you doing over there? Are you okay? What's happening in your life?
I think if someone comes to me and say, I love the style harsh noise wall, because that's a thing. Some people that are listening to noise wall, to some white noise for 1 hour straight, I'm like, okay, now you have a problem. Because for me, porno grind, it's gore grind, but talking about pornography and sexual stuff. So for me, it's nah. There's
you
guitar.
Get off how you get off, I guess. But dude,
there's guitar, there's drums, there's bass. That's music. For me, it's just simple as that. If there is guitar, bass, drums, and other instruments, I'm like, it's music. Nah, whatever. If it's not listenable or listenable, I don't care. It's music. Harsh noise wall, for instance, it's not music because it's only sounds, and it's the same sound for 1 hour straight. And I'm like, okay, no, it's not music. It's only noise. And no, just not for me. I can use it in some songs, but not a style, an entire genre of that. No, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I say that all the fucking time. Yeah, I mean, you know. Whatever.
You know, man. You know.
You know? Did you know? But there's so many fucking stupid fucking subgenres, man. Like, and really, it just comes. I think I get so angry because it's like they're good musicians, but it's just like, why do you have to ruin it? Why do you have to talk about like or do like some fucking ridiculous shit? And then a lot of the time, it's really just people label them as that because, like I said, bands are trying to differentiate themselves from another band or another group, and all of a sudden you turn into this. It turns into a whole other subgenre, and then people are grouping bands together and shit like that. It gets difficult though because then you start like think of yourself as a promoter. Right? And you're trying to promote a show and say you have a headliner who's a death metal band. Well, in reality, in theory, whatever. Theory, reality, fucking same thing. You could do all death metal bands. Well, death metal has like a million different fucking little being a subgenre itself, it has its own little fucking extended subgenres. You could put a fucking slam band on there. You could definitely, you could take a band like Cryptopsy put Ingested on there. You could do things like that because sometimes they work out. Sometimes, they have the same amount of elements and stuff like that. I think really what it does is when you start labeling yourself as something with your subgenre and things like that, you almost make it harder to put yourself on tour. You almost make it harder to kind of put yourself in a group to go out and actually play shows, because now you're in a weird place where it's like people don't really know where to put you, or if they do know where to put you, they can hear it and say, oh, well, you sound like you belong here. And then, the band gets all pissed off because they're like, nah, we're fucking supernova core, dude. You can't put us over here. And
I'll be honest.
It gets fucking frustrating because then the fucking fans show up and then it's like you're in the fucking pits and I got to listen to fucking Bilbo Baggins over there talk about how your fucking bullshit is like way different than everybody else's.
I'll be honest, like for me, subgenre, like I love putting some etiquettes on something, but sometimes it's like it's too much. So I'm sometimes think it would be better to not have etiquettes and just talking about it like heavy metal. But sometimes when your metal is like too heavy, too trashy, too deaf, like maybe it's good to have some pillars of subgenre, like we said a little bit earlier. You have your basic subgenre of heavy, but you can have some subgenre of those. That's it. If for me a genre should be a name about the music. It's only about the music. Like if you're starting to say like Hellstorm inspired metal, what is the only thing that classified pirate metal? Oh, they're talking about pirates. No! If they are using instruments from the pirate era, okay, you can call it pirate metal because it's going deep in their research, deep in the thing, deep in the genre of pirates. Because, okay, he's using an instrument that pirate used like in the 17 something. And okay, yeah, dude, that's good. But if you're saying Hellstorm inspired metal, But the only thing that is labeling the genre pirate metal of Hailstorm is like they're talking about pirate and partying. No, that's not pirate metal. It's folk party. That's it. That's Hailstorm. Don't get me wrong. I like Hailstorm. I love them. Like every time they come in Quebec, I'm like, dude, I want just to have some party and just to have some fun. Just your fucking duck on the stage. Like there was like an inflatable duck on the stage. It was nice. But yeah, I like Hailstorm, but I just don't like the fans that are saying, "Oh, pirate metal." No, it's folk, but with other stuff, with other influence. That's it. But yeah.
Yeah, fans just want to stick labels on people to really just kind of narrow down what they are, rather than just being happy that they're a band. You know, like just say, I'm cool. You know, like they're awesome. Like listen to them, whatever they talk about this and that. Like it's just tough to. I feel like it's tough. I feel like a lot of bands too. Sometimes, like. Those bands that subgenres work in their favor, where they could talk about like, oh, we're this, and they can really narrow down their shit. It kind of also can do the other thing where bands sometimes are labeled a certain thing that they don't want to be. Amon Amarth, like we talked about earlier, is basically they, have said that before, where people are like, oh, you're Viking metal, and they're like, well, no, like, yeah, we talk about. That's the topic, but like they're death metal. They're they got elements of thrash in there. They do they do a whole bunch of different things. They'd rather not be on that spectrum.
We are going to what I said.
It takes away from the message. It takes away from what they're trying to do.
We are going to what I said. Like a genre should be defined by the style of music and not by the lyrics. So I think we can go forward in the discussion, like we are talking about gore grind and those type of genre. But I have a second. This time it will be genre because there's two bands that I know that are doing it. Maybe there's more, but those two bands are the most known. It's Black Gaze, which is like a fusion of black metal and shoegaze. Shoegaze is like a type of rock, but why shoegaze is because they are using a lot of guitar pedals, and that's funny because the guitarists are like just looking at their feet because they don't want to make a mistake about what pedal to use. So that's why they are talking about that style. Shoegaze and Black Gaze. It's like you have the American band Deaf Heaven, and you have the French band Alceste, which is like Alceste with some other band of the singer of Alceste, Neige. That's the nickname of the guy. This guy been in a lot of acts. In France, it was like he has been in the band Peste Noire, which is like a black metal from France. Neige is a big fan of like rock, shoegaze, and pretty psychedelic stuff, and Alceste is the definition of that. It's like the first album, the two first album, I believe. They were like, you have black metal, but you have some like melancholic stuff, psychedelic stuff, like clean stuff. In some part of it, they were like, okay, that's pretty interesting. Like, you want something different of black metal, you go in Black Gaze with Alceste. And Deaf Heaven is like the same thing, but a little bit more heavy at sometimes. But if you take their most popular, I believe, it's Sunbather, which is, it was popular for the album art, which was pink. It's a pink album art written Sunbat her, like in 3 lines, with a pink cover, and a lot of black metal fans were like, no, it's not black metal, that's pussy metal, oh, I don't like it, it's pink.
And I think the biggest hit that they took because of that was also they used a technique used in pop music, which was basically they structured their songs like how you would a pop song.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about that.
Like people kind of got upset with that.
I'm not sure about that because there's some songs of like 15 minutes or something like that.
Oh, I know, but what they did is it basically they used like pop elements in their songs, structures, and they just kind of drew it out. And
I can understand because I like Death Heaven, to be honest. Like, I'm not the biggest fan, but Death Heaven's like, it's pretty sweet. Like, there's some black metal elements which I like, and it's like, so you have this happy chords, but like with the voice of the singer, when the voice is just like screaming out of his lungs, and fuck, like it gets me. It gets me. Like it comes to my heart. Like, fuck. Okay, that's pretty intense.
I remember when I first heard Sunbather, and my first thought was, oh, that's just black metal.
Yeah,
like it's pretty much just what it is. It was my first thought that came to my head. I was like, it's just black metal. There was nothing about it that drew me away from the fact that that's what it was.
If I go back to Black Gaze, go listen to Alcest and Death Heaven because they're pretty good. They're pretty good, to be honest. So, do you have another subgenre? Bruh?
I mean, off the top of my head, if you guys couldn't already tell, I'm fucking busy this week. We're actually recording this on a Monday. We normally record on Thursdays. Because I'm leaving this week. So I'm not as prepared as I'm normally comfortably am. So my apologies. I guess as far as like another subgenre that we could talk about, like we could talk about that alien core, how they, which basically the only thing that makes alien core is the fact that the topic is aliens. Again, another thing that is just fucking, you didn't work to, whoever came up with that one didn't work too hard enough.
Hashtag Lucas, man. Sorry, Lucas, seriously. I like you, but yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of.
You're kind of. Don't say shit.
You're kind of, and then someone else insert whatever.
Don't say shit about him because police will come in your house and in my house.
Yeah, seriously, we'll get blown the fuck up by all the 40-year-old virgins out there that are just like, he strums the guitar so well, and you're like, oh god, dude. I'm like, oh god, shit. Dude, fucking Frederick's back. He's after my ass. It's funny too because like I like Xenobiotic, which again it fits into that alien core fucking genre that people like to throw on it. There's literally Xenomorphs is another band. They own it. God love them. Rings of Saturn, Lucas Man, like Philippe just said. All these are really what it comes down to is the topics. But what is it at heart? It's deathcore, man. It's deathcore. That's just, that's what it is. It's just, what are you talking about? Like, and this is the thing too. It's like, I not always get into an argument, but pretty much do. It's just what is on the Spotify playlist when you're fucking playing it or whatever, and you're listening, and bands are coming through and stuff like that. The people always latch on to those fucking little subgenres, saying like, "Oh, this band doesn't belong in that." It's like, well, why the fuck not? When I go to shows and I'll wear a Xenobiotic shirt or whatever. People are always either they're giving me looks or shit saying like, oh, what do you think they are? And it's like, well, they're deathcore, dude. That's why I'm here. You know? Fucking, why are you here? I don't, like, what do you think is gonna happen, dude? Like,
I'm here because they're talking about aliens.
yeah, like for some reason, I feel like people talk about alien core, like you should be wearing a fucking little thing of tinfoil on your head, running around, going, "Oh my god, they're listening!" You know, like you should just be fucking yoked out of your mind.
Holy shit, they're coming!
Oh, dude, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal.
Nah, I like it too.
And then like, and that's the thing too. It's like I wish I could have more descriptions based for these subgenres, but it's like that's why we want to talk about it. It's just so dumb. Like it's literally just one thing that differentiates when really we could just make everybody's lives so much easier. Just say, it's deathcore.
Of course.
Finish it.
Okay, I will finish it. I just have one last. It's not. It will be a tie in between two bands because I heard recently that Fear Factory doesn't exist anymore because the singer left.
The singer quit. Yeah.
And you may think to yourself, why is he talking about Fear Factory? It's because I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't listen to Fear Factory. The only thing that I know of Fear Factory is like some members of Strapping Young Lad been in the Fear Factory, and I want to talk about Strapping Young Lad because I'm a Strapping Young Lad fan. I'm a Devin Townsend fan. And I wanted to talk about another thing because they are pretty similar. I would talk too about Igor. It will be like a tie between those two bands and those subgenre. Strapping Young Lad is more known for the industrial metal with mixing of extreme metal. And Igor is more known for being a DJ, mixing Baroque music, death, black metal, swing, accordion, French music. I don't know, it's fucked up.
Real quick side note, industrial metal, that's a legit subgenre.
Yeah.
Because that's something you can hear. You can hear Rammstein and Nine Inch Nails and go, yeah, that's Rammstein, that's Nine Inch Nails, that's industrial.
But you take Strapping on that, for example, you can hear it, but sometimes it's sometimes messy. If you take the first album, Strapping Young Lad, which is called Heavy as a Really Heavy Thing. It's messy, it's fucked up. That album was made in 2 weeks, and I know why. Like,
tell us why, Philippe.
Like, it was made in 2 weeks because it was only a joke. That band was a joke. It was made from another project of Devin Townsend called Noisescape. And yeah, some demo of Noisescape were used in Strapping Young Lad. Like, there's a song called Happy Camper. Happy Camper, you have a song about Satan's ice cream truck. It's funny, like I just like it. And yeah, you have it, you have Strapping on that. And why I'm putting Igor in the same categories, it's like they're using electronic music stuff. So for me, it's not the same thing because Igor is a DJ after all. Because you go on stage, you see him on stage, he doesn't have a guitar, he doesn't play bass. He's playing his DJ stuff. You got his drummer, and for the album, a Savage Sinusoid. With the shows, it was like two singers, one female singer and one male singer. And it was awesome. Like, I didn't have the chance to see that guy live, but if one day he's playing in Canada, I will go. I will. Because Igor, it's pretty intense. It's pretty interesting. And last album he put out, he got this song with George Fisher, or most known as Corpse Grinder. from
What?
Cannibal Corpse. So the song is called Parpaing. And that's weird because it's metal, a little bit genty, with 8-bit music. Like a chiptune music. And that's pretty interesting, to be honest. And yeah, so that's all I have to say. Like, go listen to Strapping On Lad. Go listen to Igor. They are pretty good. They are pretty good.
Well, folks, it has been fun. It has been real. But would I say it's been real fun? Yes.
It was.
So we talked about subgenres. Why don't you comment down below? Let us know either some of your favorite subgenres, which I hope there isn't, but also let us know some of the subgenres that you despise, because I despise most. What will happen is we'll take a poll, whether you are more forgiving like Philippe or you are more of a hard ass like I am. And we'll compare numbers and notes, and we'll come back to you. But it's been awesome, guys. Episode's gonna drop the same day. You'll be listening to this on Monday. But we are recording on Monday. Hopefully, episode 6. Actually, episode 6 just dropped. Hopefully, you've heard that. If not, go check it out. We talked a lot about beer and a style. Which actually might come back around in an interview. You might have to pay attention to that. Might come back around.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Might happen again, you know. But this is episode 7, episode 8 and 9. We're gonna be coming out with some other topics. If there are any topics you guys want us to talk about, please let us know on our email, on our comments, whatever. Direct message us, send us a letter, fucking whatever. It's carrier pigeon, for God's sakes. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking pick that pigeon up, feed it, care for it, send it on its way, and read your tiny ass little recommendation. But what I do want to say is episode 10, we actually have lined up a big interview, and we're looking forward to it. That will drop November 14th, I want to say. November 14th or 15th. I'm bad with numbers. But anyway, it'll be coming in November. Looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to hearing all of your guys' thoughts, recommendations, and whatnot. Again, send us music. We love new music. We would love to shout you guys out on the podcast, get you some fucking recognition that you need, unless you're porno grind, because fuck right off. I don't know. Last episode, I think we neglected to talk about, well, I guess Hath was really, well, no, it wasn't. That was 2 episodes ago. So, yeah, we neglected to kind of talk about the bands that we were going to highlight. One band that I thought about highlighting today was the Boston-based band Lesser Glow. Check them out. They had a new album that came out, I believe it was this year. Might be 2019. Ooh, someone might have to fucking fact check me on that one. But Lesser Glow, it's a very interesting vibe. It's not so much it's very much a dirty pleasure type of album for me. It's not really a wheelhouse, more of a doom element to it, which I do love myself some Bellwitch, so I very much dig their shit. Philippe, did you happen to have one, my brother?
I have some, but I was listening to the last Angelmaker album, which is a Canadian band from Vancouver, deathcore, but with some hardcore elements, which I like. And I was walking yesterday with the last album of Angelmaker in my headphone, and I wanted to start a mosh.
To start punching people on the subway.
Because it's ripped. It rips. The last album, Angelmaker, from Angelmaker. Go check them out. They are pretty good. And if you don't like deathcore, then go fuck off.
All right. Cool peeps, pumpkins, and peepers? I don't know. I struggled to come up with a P name. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Evan.
And I'm Phil. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Cheers.
Ciao.